Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when the next video comes out. It only takes 2 seconds to make 2 clicks. So let's do it. Let's get back to the video. Hello, Fearless Freedom Tribe. It's Dr. G, and I am back. This week, we have Dr. Denise, and she is going to tell you all about herself and what she is up to. Dr. Denise, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me on your show. Again, I'm Dr. Denise Moore Revel. I am a speech language pathologist by trade, but I also started a personal development company called Own Your Amazing. And so I believe that people should be seen and heard for their brilliance. So that is what I am about empowering people that really help them find their voice and to live their worth out loud.
Oh, awesome. Personal development is something that saved my life. So I am so happy to hear that you do that. And so share with us, how is it that you go from speech pathology as your zone of genius to personal development becoming your other zone of genius? Because that happened.
So I had to realize that they're kind of one and the same. When I'm working with clients with trying to help them to communicate, that's personal power. That's me helping them to try to find, again, their voice. And the same thing figuratively, when I work with clients, it's like, how do you find your voice? What is your lived expression? How are you showing up in the world as yourself, right? And so it's been not an easy transition, but I'm still transitioning into doing the personal development more on a full-time basis. I still have my private practice, but it's kind of the same because, again, I'm helping people to find their voices, literally with my speech therapy clients and then figuratively with my clients who I work with personal power.
Oh, awesome. Now, usually there's a backstory that's like a little bit deeper, that brings you to that thing, right? So like, like everybody knows that the reason why I even started like doing any of this stuff is because of a fear of public speaking, right? So my tribe knows this. And so for me, it's like, that was me doing desensitization training where, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to start a podcast and talk to a whole bunch of people. And then I might learn from them how to face fear, right? Or whatever, the tribe will learn how to face their fear. And so that was my backstory, right? Came out of my own fear. So what pushed you towards this? Like, I mean, was it a client? Was it like a pattern you saw? Was it, like, what happened? How'd you get
me, I feel like I've been on this journey of personal discovery, like trying to really figure out who I am. Even though I've done well, professionally, for many years, I still felt something was missing, that it just quite wasn't it. So about 5 or 6 years ago, I attended a women's retreat down in Dallas, Texas. And I got there that Friday evening and met a young lady who was also attending the workshop. And we went out to dinner, just got to know one another. So the next day, on that Saturday, the entire group, we got together with the facilitator. And so as the training goes on, each person was asked to come to the front of the room to just talk about why they came to the retreat, what they were struggling with. So the story goes, everyone who went before me, they were like really crying and upset. So I'm sitting in my chair thinking like, why are they crying? What is going on? I was like, when it's my turn, I'm not going to cry. So finally, it was my turn. And as soon as I sat down in the chair, I started crying.
Oh my gosh, wow.
I was like, oh my God. And so the facilitator was like, Denise, what's going on? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm just not happy. And I can't figure out what's going on with me.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so the young lady who I had gone out to dinner with the night before, she raised her hand and said, I know what's wrong with you. So in my mind, I'm thinking, you don't know me. We just met. I've been on this journey of self-discovery. How are you going to tell me you know what's going on with me, right? I didn't say any of that. I was just thinking it, right?
Of course, of
I
course.
just, I just looked at her and I said, so what's going on with me? So she said, you're smart, you're talented. She said, you're a brilliant person. She said, but you don't own it. She said, you need to own your amazing and stop playing small.
Wow. Those are some wise words. Who's this lady?
And, and
The
I was like,
sage that
oh
comes out of the woodwork and like
I was
drops
like, how
the
do you know me
bombs.
so well?
What are you
But as we
doing
talk
there?
about this whole fear thing, really it was fear that was holding me back. I knew there was so much more for me to do, but I was still allowing fear from childhood things that went on. I was still allowing self-doubt, all those things to stop me from playing full out in my life and really owning who I am. Again, I was doing well, but I knew there was so much more for me to do. And I think that's the case for a lot of people and for a lot of women, that we're doing great. I said, we look good on paper, but if you pull back the layers and really talk to people, they're still living in fear. They're still not owning their amazing. They still have a lot of self-doubt. They're still questioning, like, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I pretty enough? Am I enough? And so that was the day I started officially the Own Your Amazing movement. Because I know if I was struggling, then I know there were probably some other women as well. And so I've been on this journey for now, it's been 4 years
Oh, that's fantastic.
that I've been out here telling people, oh, you're amazing. Show up for who you are. Stop living in fear. Stop allowing these things that you think you need or you think you are not enough to stop you from really living full out. So that is the story about how I got started with this movement.
Mm. See right there. This is what I'm talking about. The backstory is always so cool. Yeah, no, that's great. You know, it's interesting that you say that because like this whole thing sound what that you're describing where you know people are like they do all these incredible things and they're still kind of like doubting themselves. They're like, you know, they have all these letters behind their names and they're still doubting themselves or what for whatever reason. But that
Yeah.
whole thing is like the imposter syndrome, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
like you
Yeah.
always feel no matter how much
Yeah.
you've accomplished, no matter how much you have, studied and grown in the area, and you can like teach the thing like with your eyes closed and your hands tied behind your back, you still feel like
Yes.
that you're that worthy of being there. And it is like something that definitely holds you back. Like there's no doubt about it. Because I have to say that until I was like, I don't care, I have no more ducks to give. That was when I actually like started to shine.
Mhm.
So, and it's the same thing. It's like you start owning your who you are. You become unapologetically you, and you're just like, you know what? This is me. And I tell people that I literally have to say that. It's almost like an
Yeah.
affirmation, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to say it so it is actually manifested. So I am always like, hey, you know what? This is me. This is what you get. This is like either you vibe with me or you are, basically repelled by me, which is fine. Because if
Yeah.
you're repelled by me, guess what? You're not my people. And I only want to be around my people. So yeah, no, that is a huge thing. And so how are you helping women to get there? Like how are you helping them to recognize this and then to embrace it?
Yes. So I do coaching, of course. I have workshops. I wrote a book, all those things. But all the thing I always start with people like, you have to learn how to define yourself for yourself first. So I always start with my clients. I'm like, who are you? And when I tell you, that is the most difficult question for a lot of people to answer. Who are you? And then I said, well, who are you for you? Not who are you for the world, not who are you for your family. It's not all these things that, people think you should be or should have and all those kind of things. Like, who are you for yourself? And I get people to start there. But when I tell you, it is the most difficult question for most people to answer because we're not taught to spend time with ourselves. We're taught to spend so much time being there for our spouses and our families and our children. But when are you there for you? When do you really stop and say, well, what do I want for my life? Well, how do I feel about this? Is this the direction I really want to go? And so it starts with you really taking the time and getting to know who you are. I always say the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. But how much time do we really spend with ourselves? Everybody's so busy, until the pandemic hit though. So I
I
was happy
know.
that the pandemic slowed a lot of people down,
It
and they
did.
got a chance to be like, whoa, what's going on with me? Who am I? I got a lot of more calls from
Yeah,
people who
sure,
got
sure.
still,
Yeah.
and they realized like, I hate my job, or this relationship I'm in is not working, because they got still enough to see
Mm-hmm.
like, this is not really what I want. And so that's where we have to start. Like, who are you, and who are you for yourself?
Mm. Yeah, no, that is a very deep question for certain, and I can see how it would be difficult people to understand it first of all, because I mean, you can give a canned answer, right? And I'm glad that you gave like a caveat there. You're like, look, no, not mom of three, no, not wife, no, not like not the things that are like pretty obvious to the world, but like truly who are you? Are you really a cantankerous person who does not like to get up in the morning? Like, are you really a person? I mean, like, really, who are you? And so I think it's difficult for people to do that because, like you said, they're just not used to it, right? I
And we
mean,
have so many
go to it.
societal expectations about who we're supposed to be, what we
Yep.
should look like, what we should drive, what we should wear, where we should work. All, and then you stop and think, like, I don't really like that. I don't really want to do that. And so I have to give help with not give, but I help to tell women to give themselves permission to be who they want to be and to have the life they want to have. And so, and I tell people it takes courage to do that, because at
Absolutely.
times you will face fear, you
Mm-hmm.
will face a lot of backlash, criticism, whatever the case may be. And you have to be strong enough in your conviction of who you are to say, well, no, this is the path and journey that I have for myself. So it takes a lot of courage to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Hey, it's Dr. G, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for listening to this episode. I'm so honored to have you here with me. Did you know that I can help you to get your own podcast started? With my podcasting launch course for professionals, I walk you through everything you need to know about starting a podcast. I'm with you every step of the way, from sign up to launching your show, with 5 episodes ready to go. There's a done for you version that's also available if you would just rather just do recordings and leave the behind the scenes work up to us, then that one is definitely for you. But either way, we've got your back here at Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Oh, if you already have a show and you need production services, we have monthly plans available for you. So check out the links in the episode show notes for more information. Let's get back to the show. Yeah. Anytime that you are remodeling something that's been around for more than like, I don't know, 20 years or so. So when it comes to like remodeling, artifacts like myself at
Yeah.
46,
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, I got to make
Yeah.
a change. I got to course correct. It's like moving. It's like when you are younger, like when you're a teenager, for example,
Yeah.
you're the most receptive to molding. You may not
Sure.
really be in the mindset to do it, right? Because you're so busy trying to battle with the hormonal changes that are happening and,
Yeah.
adjusting to frontal lobe things like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like, okay, that, yeah. And doing those kind of course corrections. But man, when you get to be in your ways, it is so much harder for you to actually course correct. Because back then, as a teenager, it's like turning a paper boat, right? Super
Yeah.
easy. It's light. You could just turn it a little gust of wind and it's gone. It's turned to the right, to the direction it needs to go. But like you get to our age, I'm not including you. I'm sorry. You get to
Well, I'm
my
older than you,
age.
so
Well,
yeah.
okay. You get to my age. I'm gonna personalize to me. That way,
Yeah.
there's no. And so when you get to my age, it's like, dude, you're trying to turn the Titanic. And we know how hard the Titanic is to turn.
Mhm.
So, it is just such a crazy thing. But as you said though, sometimes it takes a catastrophic event to force and compress the timelines related to that
Yeah.
turning of that massive vessel. And so, unfortunately, we had a really ridiculous event happen and is like we're kind of coming out of it. But in a way, there's so many things people can say that are very negative about the pandemic, but
Right.
there are also a lot of things that people can say that are very positive about it. And one of those things is that phenomenon that you described, where people actually took an
Mm.
opportunity to
Yes.
be still, just to be still, just to not like be filling every single moment with something, but actually to be still. And then having the like, what is this? The scales fall off their eyes, and then they're seeing like, holy crap, this is my life. This is it right
Yeah.
here. This is not what I thought it was gonna be, you know.
Right.
And so now it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. So, I definitely thank you for helping people through that because, that's like you said, it's just not a natural thing to think about. It's not a natural introspective question because people aren't going to be like, well, look in the mirror and like, oh man, who am I exactly? Like they're not going to do that. They're just not
No.
doing it because it hurts sometimes. If the person that you find out that you are is not who you want to be, it hurts. And people usually do not like pain. And so they shy away from the things that cause them pain. So
But they
yeah.
have the courage to really face it and get on the other side of
Oh
it.
yes.
It's so much better, so many people, I know a few people I know who lost their jobs because of the pandemic, right?
Oh yeah.
But their identity was their job. It's like I am, just say I'm a teacher. Just say a teacher but now you're not a teacher anymore because of whatever happened. But that's not who you. Well, that's not who you are. That's what you did.
Right.
But so many people's identity, how they identify themselves, are tied into what they do, their profession or whatever. But what happens when that's gone? What happens when that changes? What happens when you have to change? You don't want to change, but what happens when you are forced to change? And a lot of people are still dealing with that. Again, it's like, well, who am I? Not what do I do, but who am I? So I am Denise. I do speech therapy. I am, what I'm saying? So
Right. Right.
once I got that, it was like, well, of course I can go over here and do personal development because that's not who I am. This is what I do. This is how I serve. This is how I give back. This is how I help people. But who I am is not this profession, you know, because who I am is a person who has gifts and talents and abilities that I can share in any capacity that I choose. And so when I get people to see that, it was like, oh, I was like, well, you get to choose now where do you want to use your gifts and talents. You get to choose now who you want to serve, right? And so they were like, okay. So yeah, I had a great conversation with a guy. Actually, I was on his podcast, and he used to be a firefighter, like a battalion chief, or something happened when he got fired. And so he was like really struggling because he was like, this is who I've been for the last 20 something years. And I told him, I said, no, that's what you've been doing. That is not who you are. I said, now all those skill sets, all those things that you were able to gain over those years, you can take that to another arena. That's who you are. And it was like, oh, I was like, come on now. That's
Epiphany.
that's what you did. That's not who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, you're right. So I'm like, don't be down on yourself. Don't feel like, there's no future for you. There's no hope. because who you are is this person that can serve in this new capacity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's really, that's spot on. That's so good. So good. So good. So good. Oh my gosh. And so you've already like shared the pearls, right? Because I mean, part of what we do here is we talk about, how do we face fear and emerge victoriously? And so that pearl right there, that is an excellent one. It's just kind of like, well, no, just start with a very simple question. It doesn't have to be like this big old profound thing. It can be super simple. Like, who you are could be somebody who likes to garden, or somebody who likes to collect, I don't know, little collectibles, or for whatever, baseball cards. I don't know. But that's who you are. That's the thing that you're passionate about. And so, once you figure that out, then it's like, you're off to the races. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And for you to, and the whole other thing about owning your amazing is owning your gifts and talents. Like, I love working with young children, have been doing it for years. And I know I'm gifted in that. That's a gift. That's a talent, right? Everybody don't have that. Now, when it comes to singing, that's not my gift.
Not mine either. My kids will tell you that.
But there are people who are really gifted in that. That's what they have been given to do.
Absolutely.
And so, but they get to choose it in the capacity in which they do that. So a lot of times too, I have to help people to realize that who you are is amazing. Mm-hmm. What the combination of gifts and talents and stuff that we all embody are unique to us. There's no one like me. No one has my exact gifts, talents, abilities. There's some similarities, but my exact thing, no, that's all me. And so I need to own that. I need to celebrate that. And so I try to get people to understand that too. Who you are, how you're showing up that's a gift to the world. That's a gift. And you have to own it. You have to celebrate it. And then I encourage people to go out and share themselves with the world.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So now you got to tell us tell the audience, tell the tribe how that they can reach out to you. And the reason is because it's going to be the show notes, but if they're not in a place where they can access the show notes, they may want to write it down, right? So do you mind spelling it out so that they can have that?
Absolutely. So I always tell people to start with a website. It is Own Your Amazing Now.
Oh, nice.
.com. Easy.
Yeah,
OwnYourAmazingNow.com.
Can I say, like, as somebody who's like had to get domains and things like that, that is pretty hot. That domain is hot. So good for you for getting that one.
Trust me, other people are like, you want to give it up? Nope, I got it. I'm good.
Nope, no. Yes, they're constantly hounding you too. If you have a really good one, they're like, oh, I'll pay you this much money. Nope. This is my brand. I'm not giving my brand up. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
OwnYourAmazingNow.com. That's the website. And then I tell people to follow me on social media at Dr. Denise Own Your Amazing on Facebook and on Instagram.
Oh, fantastic. No, that's great. That is great. That is super awesome. This has been such a really good conversation because, so tell people before we get into the, that next segment. Now tell people what kind of, so you mentioned coaching. Is that the only service that you offer through, in this program that you have?
No, I do group coaching and some private coaching as well. Okay. I do business coaching. I've helped some people start their business, get it off the ground, but I also do workshops. I was doing some in person, but when COVID hit, I did a few virtually. So I'm already looking at my calendar for 2022.
Nice.
To figure out how I can get people involved with that. And a few courses are also going to be coming out in 2022 because I really want to get this information into people's hands. The best way, they learn, try to give people different modalities, to learn the information. But yeah, so coaching, workshops, speaking, I'm excited. I'm going to be speaking in Europe in 2022, sharing the message for the first time.
Awesome. That's great.
So I'm just so excited. I want the world to own they're amazing, and so I'm excited to get an opportunity to start going, abroad to really spread the message.
Oh, that's fantastic. Love it. Yep. Awesome. All right. So we are at the point in the show where we do fill in the blanks. So Dr. Denise,
Yes.
Are you ready for fill in the blanks?
Let's go.
How did you like that? I'm practicing my trailer voice. It's like, I always think that's kind of funny, like listening to those voiceovers, because those people are like really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. So here we go. So the first one is, if I am fearless, I will
show up more powerfully in the world.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. The next one is, to me, fearless freedom means.
Wow. Being okay with who I am and having fun with my life.
Living out loud is what it's about. That is for certain. All right. And then last but not least, my battle cry is,
oh, you're amazing.
That's there it is.
Oh, you're amazing.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, you're amazing. Own it.
Yes, 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 yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, cool, cool. Own your amazing. You heard it here. You heard it here. That's it. That is the ticket. Awesome, 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 awesome. You know, we are so grateful that you took time out of your busy day to spend time with us and to drop the pearls that you have dropped in this episode. We truly, truly, truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. No worries, no worries. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Again, I'm Dr. G. And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified of when the next episode is going to be. And also, I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.